Jay here from Stretford, Paddock, and this is a Liverpool preview with a bit of a difference. We sat down with the legend that is Wes Brown, the hardest man in all the town, to chat about the upcoming Liverpool game, to chat about his games against the Scousers as well, including one where he got a goal too. And also, it's been 25 years since the treble winning season, so obviously we spoke about that. Check it out. Wes, always a pleasure chatting to you. We're here with Sports Breaks. They sort out tickets for United fans, for supporters, clubs. You've been meeting some of the fans from around the world. What's that like for you as a player when you see all these Reds from all over the world?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's something you didn't do as much when you was a player because ultimately you just want to play games, you rest, and you're in the hotels and stuff. But to actually see them now, it's a bit more intimate, especially going to pre-season in the summer. Going to some supporters clubs and just chilling out with them for a few hours. It's brilliant. The knowledge that they have. They tell you things you forget as well. What you've done in games. Can you remember this game? Can you remember this happening? And it's just love everywhere. And obviously when you go abroad and there's so many fans, it's just incredible.
We was over in the US and you meet those fans and they're telling you how they get up at after o'clock in the morning to watch you, and the sort of passion. It's what's great about being part of United, isn't it? It
is, and listen, you talk about America, you can go to the other side and say India, China, it's all the same, and like I say, the knowledge of the actual club, the players and games, it's incredible, and you can just chill out and have a good laugh with them, and it's not just good for them, but it's brilliant for me as well, because you get to see what the fans are, what it's all about, and I get it anyway because I'm from Manchester, but it's nice to hear it from the fans.
Obviously a big game this weekend, Liverpool. When you was a player, was the Liverpool game the one you always looked for when the fixtures come out? Is that one you think is the big one?
Yeah, 100%. I just think it's how I got brought up. Grandad, dad, sort of, this is the one we need to win. Obviously, you learn along the way why that is. Two brilliant clubs who've won lots of trophies. But for me, by far, that's the first game I would definitely look for.
Yeah, I was the same. One of my earliest memories is coming here watching United versus Liverpool. My dad was like, he was just going mad because we won. You had a good record against him. What's one of your fondest memories? I remember there was a game here where you got a goal. I think it came off your back, didn't it?
Back, yeah. I think I won the ball about the halfway line, played it to Scholesy, and he's played it dead wide to Wayne, and I just thought, go on then, you might as well go. And Wayne's just put it in this area. And I just jumped and it sort of hit me back, but it was a good start. I think we won the game 3-0, and there's not a better feeling. It was when Mascherano, I think, he started arguing with the ref and he got...
Didn't want to go off, did it?
No, and then he got sent off. But yeah, that was a good day. And he was once at Anfield, which ended up a good day, but I got sent off with about 20 minutes to go, and I was pooing my pants, mate. Because all I could think about, if we draw or lose this now, it's my fault. But at Anfield, winning at Anfield is not a better feeling. You could probably see it and hear it in the gaffer's voice as well, in his face. These are the ones we wanted to win, regardless where you was in the league as well.
What was that 20 minutes like, waiting in the dressing room there, waiting to see if United were gonna win, waiting for the gaffer?
Yeah, it was horrible, honestly. And you're walking off, you're not thinking about it at first, and then when all of a sudden a bit of adrenaline, it just goes lower touch, and you're just thinking, right, please, you just do not want the crowd to roar here, because you're just sitting there on your own, boots are off, and you're just panicking, just pure panic. And then you can hear sort of a roar or a moan 20 minutes later, and that's when the lads are walking in, and it's probably the happiest you'll be playing any Premiership team if you beat Liverpool there.
Yeah, definitely. I can understand that just from a fan point of view, let alone as a player. We know they've got a lot of quality, Liverpool. Know they've got a lot of top-tier players. Who's the one that you think that makes them tick? Who's a player that you think this Sunday we need to look out for?
Yeah, well, obviously, Van Dijk's massive from the back, but I think Salah's the main man. Regardless sometimes of how his form is, he's that sort of player who can just turn it on when he needs to. He's got that quality. And I thought Wan-Bissaka did really well against him last time. He's one of the best probably for sort of a man-to-man marking guy. So, yeah, I think you've got to look out for Salah, and probably an unsung hero in McAllister. I've watched him a few times. He just knits play together. And not underrated, but he doesn't shine as much as some other players do because they're a bit more fancy, but I think he keeps them together.
Obviously, we beat him in the FA Cup, but since then it's been a difficult time for United, dropping points late on against Brentford. Obviously, the Chelsea game as well, which we don't need to go into. Do you think this could be a tough time for it tonight? Do you think there could be consequences if we don't get a result on Sunday?
Yeah, listen, it's a big game, and obviously we beat them in the Cup, which was fantastic. But obviously, the last 2 games in the league, it's been a bit of a nightmare because with a few minutes to hold out, we've got to learn to hold out. So the manager's somehow just got to get the lads back up. Back ready for the game because it is a big game. It will be different from the cup game a little bit, and we've just got to go for it again. Every single player's got to play well. Whether it's one-on-ones, team collective play, we've got to give it everything because that's at the moment that's what we need to do to get the win. And we've seen what happened last time. A brilliant game, one of the best I've been to, but we need that sort of spirit.
Yeah, and also the fans as well, because I was there for the FA Cup game and the atmosphere was phenomenal. That goes without saying, doesn't it? That can play a big part.
Yeah, listen, the fans, I always say to the fans, listen, when you are shouting and roaring, there's not a better feeling, regardless whether you're playing well or not. It just gives you that extra boost, and if the noise can be like that again, that's a big help.
There's always pressure on Manchester United and the manager. Do you think there's a lot of pressure on him at the minute because of the results we've had?
Yeah, listen, there will be, and especially the way that we've lost or drawn a few games right at the end, when you want the players to be really focusing and putting everything into it. Just the way that it's happened, it's not ideal. I thought the game against Chelsea, for instance, it's very open. Pretty much attack, and it could have been a lot of goals. But when you get to that certain position, we've got to learn, and the players have to learn quick that we can't keep conceding like that because obviously it happened at Brentford as well. We have to learn. We've got to mature, and whether that, the manager will be saying that as well, but it's got to come from the players as well.
Let's talk about happier times. It's almost 25 years since the 99 season. Yeah? No, it is. It'll be 25 years in May since the treble. What was that like for you? Because, Manchester, born and bred, a youngster coming through the academy, playing in some of those games as well, playing your part. I remember the game against Barcelona, for example. What was that like for you as a young player at that time?
Yeah, I was just buzzing. I didn't really get it all because when you're a kid, you're just playing football, you're trying to play well, you're happy, you're sort of in a squad. And obviously we were winning. And once we've won the league and the FA Cup, you're just in this flow. This this is good. This is probably what it's going to be like all the time. And then you realise, I think it's more a few years down the line. Do you know when things get a bit tough, you don't maybe don't win the league or a certain competition, and because at that time, we was expected to win stuff. It was as simple as that. So when you didn't, you just look back and go, wow, we was unbelievable. What a squad, and what some of the biggest games that I've imaginable were going on then. And I probably didn't take it all in properly because I was just thinking, this is, like I said, I'll keep this going. And if it's like this every year, we'll be ledge. But it gets tougher, obviously. So I do look back on it. I think, wow, what a time, what a squad. Obviously, in the players that we had, and it was a different type of football, I would say. But ultimately, the characters we had in the team were incredible.
Can you remember the time during that season when the treble was mentioned? Because obviously it'd never been done before, and as a fan, you sort of, it wasn't getting mentioned to us in the season. In the dressing room, were people talking about it, or was it something that just came on later towards the end of the season?
Honestly, it was later. I don't think anyone said anything. And me as a kid, I didn't even really think about it. We were just winning and thinking that we're really in good form, sort of thing. And if the manager sort of needed me to play, I've just got to try and do my best. So I'm not saying I was thinking about myself, but because I'm just a kid coming through, I just need to play well when he asked me to play. So I didn't really think about the other players at that time. That's obviously when you get more experience, then you can help others out like they did with me. But you're probably talking about once Coley chips that, and that the talk sort of, right, there's like a 10-day period here where this could be, sort of a thing that's never been done. And then you start taking it in a bit, but ultimately, a nervousness, yes, does come into it, but I didn't think about it I didn't go into it too much. It's just like, well, I know we can beat Newcastle, and then Bayern Munich, you don't know. On the day, I think we drawn with them here, I can't remember the away score.
I think we drew with him away, home and away. Yeah, we drew with him a couple of times in the group of death.
And Barca as well, wasn't it? Both 3-3. I think, and you're just thinking, like, these are good. These are big, strong. And I used to just think about the players that were playing. So I used to watch these as kids. So I didn't go into what we could achieve. It's just like, oh my God, like these are a good team, and I've got to be ready if possible. So I didn't go into it until years later.
What's better? I can ask you this because you've done all of these: winning the treble, assisting a goal in the Champions League final, captaining United, or scoring against Liverpool.
Winning the treble. It's just that experience. Now, people ask me my best game, and it's my debut, and then that last game. I didn't even play in the last game, and I'm saying it's the best feeling that I've had in football. So I would have to say, winning the treble.
Yeah, I mean, just as a fan, it was great, but yeah.
And listen, we've had good squads along the years. I was here the 12 years, 13 years, and you just know it's just hard to do. You know, it's as simple as that.
Wes, always a pleasure. Thanks for chatting to us. Thanks a lot.